Today I'm going to be building a birdhouse. Not anything too fancy, not fancy at all actually. But what I'm hoping to do with it is to make it using no tape measure. Which I know is a little bit odd, but we'll see. So I'm going to start my first scribe mark, just a simple 45-degree angle that I'm going to cut on, and that will enable me to have two pieces, hopefully identical sizes. I'm just going to take this piece, line it up, see if this actually even works. I don't think that's going to work. I've got a split in this wood. Wow, that's unfortunate. I don't think that's salvageable. So I think we're just going to scrap this whole piece. As you can see right here, I mean it's a pretty bad crack. So, I did not know that when I started making the cut, but even on this one you can see right there. But, you know, it's just a fence picket. It was about $1.50. Nothing too big to be lost. Let me go grab another piece of wood and I'll be right back. It is regrettable. Do a lot of work outside. So this weather has not been kind for me. I've got a knot right here. I'd rather not saw through that, so let me try to keep this out. This piece of 2x4 keeps me off the workbench. Not the nicest workbench. I built it myself, but I'd rather not get it messed up just this early. Okay. Line these two up. Now remember, I am not a carpenter, so don't judge me too harshly. This is just me having fun building a birdhouse. I'll let the actual, professional level carpenters make the true guides and tutorials with how to make everything perfectly symmetrical. But that's not me. Ooh, I am sweating. It's dripping down my eyes. My next piece is I'm right here taking, as you can see, I'm standing them up, marking them at the ends where they go. We've got 2 points, and they both square up nice and even. Big mistake. I did not have my block over, and it actually cut into my work surface. It is embarrassing, but at the end of the day, these are 2x6s, and I can live with it. This is a learning experience for me. somebody out there watched what I was about to do and thought to themselves, that guy's going to mess up his table. And they were right. So now I'm going to do the front side. But on the front side, I am going to mark. So this isn't going to be the roof. But you can see we're going to have it like this, which means we need a piece to be lower. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the width of this, square it up on that corner. So now I have this width marked. That's how wide my board is, right there. Okay? I'm going to take this, which is imitating my roof plane. Right here. So I want that board about this tall. Now I know there's going to be a bit of a gap on this corner here, but I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm good with that. Go right there. Now I have my rough sides built. Just like that. This is not pretty, but it'll work. I built a few of these birdhouses, not in this exact way. I actually used that cedar fence post we saw first. And from what I can tell, bluebirds absolutely love it. So right now I've got my, and this is where I've messed up a lot before, I accidentally put the orientation wrong, and then the bottom doesn't fit, or the top in one case. The roof didn't fit. So we have the angled pieces in the middle sandwiched, and we just line them up at the end of the board, and then I made my red mark right there. I'll make sure that's, yep, that's good and square. Put that back. We had, at our last house, we had, I think, I built 2 of these. We had 2 different sets of bluebirds nest in them. And then we had another set that nested, we had a redbud tree, and they built a nest, the center of the tree had kind of rotted out. They built a nest right in there, and they had a nice little clutch of eggs. So that was pretty cool. I got to pick up my daughter and tilt her in, and she'd see the little chicks chirping. It was real fun. Now for the roof. So I like having a bit of pitch. So if you remember, I'm going to have it kind of like this, but I'd like to have an overhang on both sides. So this part of the measuring isn't, I like a couple inches overhang. So nothing too crazy or scientific. That's my rough idea. There we go. Last piece. If I was really smart, I'd be labeling. this isn't my profession. I'm just out here having fun. This battery out. So, what comes next? It's always been the hardest part for me. Because I'm terrible at this stuff. That's my roof. This is my bottom. This is pretty obvious side. Front. Front goes like that. Back goes like this. This might be even better. Okay. It's looking good. Clamps, a little bit of wood glue, I made this table using wood glue and pocket screws and some dowels. That was an interesting experience. I learned a lot from it. One of the reasons why I built this table was so I could use these dog clamps. Actually, I've used them on one project so far. They have been super handy. So I am very excited to have them. Only problem is I need to start spacing out some of my holes. All the carpenters actually watching, I apologize. I hope you forgive me for the absolute abomination, as I have mentioned again and again. I'm learning. I don't know. Recently, I've not had a lot of projects to be able to do and spend time on just because of where we are, the time of year. Summer, I get real busy with work and things. And I just keep reminding myself that perfect is the enemy of good. I will never be perfect in this craft. But I think I can do some decent work. And I know you're probably supposed to have a mallet. And I know there's all this stuff. But I want to build a birdhouse. I've got some tools. I don't have a lot. You know, just mostly stuff I use at work. And I think, yeah, today built something. So this is me, just chilling, building. Is it going to be beautiful? No, it's not. Is my kid going to love it? Yeah, my kid's going to love this. And at the end of the day, like honestly, say, a professional woodworker would not have done that. But at the end of the day, that's what's fun, you know? I'm living, I'm learning. I'm trying my best. Now I've got this idea. Take the roof. So I like to apply a little bit of pressure on this. Force these joints to be in the right spot. See, that one slipped a little bit. Let's let that set for a hot second. Will this work? My gut is telling me no. But I've never done this before. So the only way you're going to find out is by trying it. What if I took this? Is this a dumb idea? Yes, that's a dumb idea. I'm okay with that. It's not my dog. So while I wait, I'm going to get out. Pick this up. We had some baseboards that I had to redo before we sold our house. And it was cheaper for me to buy this tool and the baseboard than was to hire someone. Well, this will not fit. We are living, we are learning, and we are getting bit by mosquitoes. Now, we're not going to do this super tight. But I do want it all pressed together. Ugh. Try and keep my tools out of the dirt. Yeah, but this was just a cheap Amazon purchase. No idea where it came from. Don't know who the manufacturer's new master. But it's been fairly reliable. As long as I can remember how to shoot nails straight. Which you wouldn't think would be as hard for me. It is difficult for me. It's not difficult for you guys. You guys are probably just watching. I mean, like, this guy. I wish he knew what he was doing. And I wish I knew what I was doing too. That's the fun. I'm learning. And I am freely admitting I do not always know what the right order of operations is. Honestly, if I make it through this entire project without shooting a brad nail through the side of the wood, I will be thrilled. You have no idea. I'm still good. Well, boys and girls, I did not do that successfully. Apparently, also messed up the bottom. See, what always throws me off is you think the hit would be dead center. It's not. It's like right at the edge of that one. When you use the U, it is dead center, which, once again, you guys are probably like, well, duh. And yeah, I know too. But it's hard to remember sometimes. No birds will be poked with that. That's my main goal in life. Not harming other animals. So I'm just going to glue up this side. Glue up this side. Perfect. Make sure it overhangs a little bit on the bottom. See that gap? And then I got a little bit of a gap here on top. Good. Good. Let's do this bottom one first. Oh, my dog saw a squirrel. Where we used to live, we had rabbits, but we never had any squirrels. So the two dogs we had never lived where squirrels were running through trees constantly. And so they came here and they see them running on the fence, and it just blew their minds. And now they get into barking matches with the squirrels. The squirrels will be up there and chirping at them, and they'll be barking against them too. It's actually pretty funny. Funnier than the story I can tell. And for good measure, got 6 brad nails at the top. I think I would like to shoot a couple more in the front. Good. So yeah, this is the start of a basic, very simple birdhouse. And there's various ways to hang it. What I like usually doing is just putting a little eye hole screw up here. But there are ways of mounting it to trees where you screw it to a piece of wood, and then you screw that piece of wood onto a tree or a fence. Sometimes birds really like fences. The bluebirds, I noticed, liked nests that were about this high. I have no idea why, but that's all of their nests in our yard. We had 3 or 4, I think, maybe 5 at some point. but they were all like about this high. And they liked a somewhat, I think on the one I had even a little bit smaller of a hole, but they really liked it. So that, but yeah, this is just a real basic birdhouse that I made, and did not take me very long. Honestly, I think you could do this entire project with a saw, glue, and a square. I don't trust myself with glue yet, fully. I'm not good enough of a carpenter to get that. I don't know all the technique, but every time you complete a project, or at least every time I complete a project, I feel like I learned something new. And so each time you learn something new, you get a little bit better, and then suddenly you can build a birdhouse where you don't have little gaps. Little gaps at the bottom too. But I'm proud of it, you know? A bird will like it. I'm gonna paint it. Actually, my kid's probably gonna paint it. She'll like that. And the bird doesn't care. Bird doesn't care about a gap there or gap there. This is gonna go out in the middle of the woods somewhere. I'll see it maybe a couple times a year as I walk by, take a peek in. But I'm not building it for me. I'm building it for the bird. And they don't care about that stuff. That was a big squirrel. Y'all can be as mean as y'all want. But I do hope y'all enjoyed it. And hopefully y'all make your own projects and enjoy making those too. Ooh, look at that guy. And he's gone.